Okay, today I'm joined by my son on this podcast. We're going to discuss our current relationship status, what it's at the moment. It's been quite sensitive since we've had our last conversation, and admittedly, there are times when I want to hit my son, and there's also times when he wants to hit me as well. It didn't escalate to those, fortunately as well. And thank God for that, alhamdulillah. So, Jibrail, do you want to start?
Yeah, so to be honest, there's many times I felt like hitting you, Dad, because I'm upset, I'm angry, because of how you speak to me, how you deal with me, and my way of reacting towards you will be through hitting. I've never laid a hand on you, but there's just these thoughts and emotions that play in my head when you shout at me. It's like, you know what, let me shout at my dad back, let me swear at him, let me make him angry, let me say things I don't actually mean, let me just win the argument over him, let me just hurt his feelings. This is how I feel sometimes towards you when we encounter arguments and misunderstandings.
Yeah, do you know what it is? When you see, I'm coming from a place of care, responsibilities, and boundaries. Those are pretty much. Whenever I speak to you, I try to get you to do something for your own good. It's not out of control. It's just out of love. I'm trying to give you some life skills. I'm trying to give you some education. And you seem to take those things quite personally. And what makes me react and raise my voice is when you don't listen, and sometimes it feels like as if you're challenging my authority.
I mean, sometimes I challenge your authority, and I also play these thoughts in my mind, and I'm thinking, you know what, my dad's a certain way towards me and my family. Why can't I copy him? Why can't I be the same? He's telling me to act like a good boy, to be mature, to be responsible, to speak to him in a good way when he doesn't even speak to me in a nice way. He is a hypocrite, so let me be a hypocrite. I say this to myself many times, and it hasn't benefited me in no way. It hasn't even helped me. I don't know what I've gained from it. Because by me using you as an excuse to justify what I'm doing, that's no excuse. That's actually a bad excuse, because I shouldn't copy you and copy your behaviour just because you're a certain way towards me. I should learn from it. And to be honest, it is hard, it is difficult, but I'm trying my best just to avoid doing things the wrong way.
You know, when I speak to you and I eventually raise my voice, what do you think that I'm trying to do? How does it come across? Apart from the shouting, what do you think I'm trying to communicate to you?
I know you care about me, and you care about my well-being, and you want to make sure I'm safe, but I'd say it's how you come across towards me, how you approach me, and how you deal with me, that varies a lot. Because if you come across to me a certain way, which you have done in the past, that would make me feel inclined to react towards you in a negative way, because I've been hurt in a negative way. It's like, I know that you care for me because I know you love me, but it's quite hard for me to understand whether it's love or whether it's abuse. It's quite hard for me to tell the difference between the two when you mean something and you mean something well for me, but you show it differently.
Yeah, do you know what it is? It's those reactions are out of frustration. Those reactions are out of I'm unable to regulate my words and emotions at that time, because I'm having to repeat myself 2 or 3 times, and then on the third and fourth response, the voice is a bit more firmer. It's more louder. It's more. It can come across as an order, and all I want to do is I want the best for you. You know, that may not come out in the best way, but my intention is to want the best for you, to educate you and to provide you with life skills. You know, because dad's not going to be around forever. You know, that you're going to be left alone to fend for yourself. You know, so. And then I think whenever you don't listen, I think, well, I've been raising you since young. You know, you're still young, but even younger, you know, from day one, and then you respond this way to me, you know. And sometimes I think, what have I done? What have I done to deserve this? And those reactions are just out of frustration, out of not listening, out of being challenged, out of you arguing with me. I mean, I understand that when you was young, I spoke to you a certain way, but now I can't speak to you that way because you're a young man now. Yeah, I get that. And I get that you want to do your own things and make your own decisions, but maybe I'm just upset about the way you're expressing it. You know, through sometimes it comes across rude and very challenging, you know, and that's what I'm reacting to. I'm reacting to your response when I'm telling you to do something, you know, and you're not doing it, or you're just making it hard for yourself and for me, and really it's for your own good. I get no benefit out of this. You understand? It's just for you, not for me.
To be honest, our relationship is lifelong. It's an ongoing journey, and that will require me and you to make significant changes, tweaks, and improvements through time. But I need to do my part as a son to my father because I want to keep and maintain the relationship. I need to do everything I can to make sure I'm doing everything right. I'm not perfect, but I need to improve myself each and every day. I need to be better than yesterday, better than last week, better than last month, how I was towards you. My aim in having a relationship with you is to control my reactions and my responses, because that's something that many people have told me that I need to work on. My reactions, my approach, the way I deal with people, that needs to be improved. I mean well, but how I say it may come across confusing and disrespectful.
You know, and that what you just said there, it applies to me too, 100%. That and it actually starts for me as well, because you're seeing me as an example. You know, let me ask you something. How did you come to this realization?
I mean, not to be hypocrite or anything, I'm being honest with you, I have realised that me and you have been keeping distance for quite some time now. We're not on talking terms as much. We are not spending time with each other that much. It's not. That's not a good sign. That's not a relationship. A relationship is like we must spend time with each other. We must make time for each other in however way we can, whether it's through having a tea, watching TV, talking to each other, having a conversation, or going out. I need to do my part to make time for you. I need to prioritize that. And it would be silly of me not to.
You know what you're saying. You're actually you're answering my own things that I need to do and work on. So it's like I'm glad that you've realized that, because that also applies to me as well. So what I've done personally is to start having these conversations, one conversation at a time, and just keep that door open for you. And the thing is this, look, son, we're not going to see eye to eye all the time, and that's fine. Totally understandable. But the most important thing is just to keep that communication open, you know, to not close that. Yes, we're going through a rough patch. You know, you have your ups and downs, but it can be navigated, and there are many things that we have to work on as well. You know, this is where I'm at right at the moment. You know, I've not figured everything out, but I've learned a few things, and some of those things are to, like I've said about the conversation, to keep that open. You know, and it doesn't take hours. They can take minutes. It can take just under a minute. We can walk. We can talk. We can talk when we're eating. We can talk when we're just sitting down. It's like what you said. I think that's important. Those little things that we need to be a bit more intentional about. You know, like what we've done today when we was training together. You know, that we sparked up a little conversation here and there, and that was good. That was really good. And it's just touching base. On my bit, I'll try and make more effort to touch base with you from time to time, and just have these conversations here and there and stuff, just to to build the bond, you know. And the thing is this. Look, I'm gonna. It's not an overnight thing. It's gonna take time. Yeah. So that's what I can do on my part. How did you get to this place from you want to hit me to now you want to try and work things out?
Because, to be honest, I need to find different alternatives to deal with you. My way is not hitting, and I don't like hitting, and no one likes that. I need to find other alternatives. That's why I've decided I'm not going to hit my dad. I'm going to speak to him differently. I'm going to conduct myself differently. I'm going to react differently in a better way, in a positive way, because hitting will only make things worse. That will just make our relationship more distant from each other. We might end up hating each other and might not, and we'll end up not speaking with each other. And I don't want that relationship. And I know it's hard. It's very hard for me because many times we have had arguments in the past about small things that are unnecessary, and it just turns into big unnecessary problems. And then I would react towards you. I would shout. I would swear. I would leave the room. I would stop talking to you. That ain't a good relationship, and that's not how a relationship should be built. It should be improved differently. And if I could give one advice to those boys who are facing or going through a similar relationship with their dad like me, I would say find other ways to deal with your dad differently. Don't react. Control what you are going to say, and tell yourself, is what you are going to say, will that benefit you in a good way, in a bad way? If it will benefit you in a bad way, then don't say it, because it can't benefit you if it's bad. And if it's good, then say it. But if you've got no need to say it, then don't say it, because that will only create more heat and friction between me and my dad.
So and that is a two-way thing, and it starts with me as the father to example that, and what you've heard it from my son. I didn't pay him to say those things. It's not scripted. This is just an unfiltered conversation. He's come to that realization by himself. I've come to my own realization, and it's a lifelong, ongoing journey of just trying to refine and evolve. Because if your relationships do matter, you try to put the work in as much as you can. And also, in saying that, some relations are not meant to be. That's fine as well. But the whole idea is to be at peace with it. Yeah, go on.
Having the power and the ability to avoid arguments is better than actually dealing with the arguments, because there's many times where I have had the ability or the power or freedom and time to hit my dad or to do bad to you, and many thoughts just play in my head like, oh, should I hit him now? Should I abuse him? Should I throw something at him? But it ain't worth it long term, because that won't get me anywhere. That will just create more friction between you and I. Like, I have the power, the ability, and the tools to avoid hitting you. So it would be silly of me. It would be very silly of me to hit you. But if Allah has given me the ability and power to avoid it, then I should, because that would be better than me actually dealing with the situation just in case I might escalate it.
That's quite profound what you've even just said, and this is the type of levels. You got me thinking just now, like how deep this is, because this is what can happen when we as fathers don't check in our sons and don't have these types of relationships. It can easily escalate to these things, because when my son's thoughts are unchecked without having these conversations, he can easily be up in his thoughts. And when it gets up in his thoughts, two things can happen: either depression, sadness, or a reaction or response that can turn into violence. So, we can't leave our sons and our daughters as well unchecked. This is why that we've got to check in and have these types of conversations, because something left for too long, it only builds up bitterness and resentment. So that is what I literally learned just now of you, actually, because I didn't realize how deep it's gone, because from my end, I was just thinking, well, who do you think you are? who you're talking to, and then just I feel like hating you. You know, these are just the thoughts that go through my head, but I didn't know that with you it's quite deep. It's you know, and that's why it's really, really important to have these kind of conversations. These conversations don't take long. Can take up to 30 seconds, a minute, how long ever you want, but have those conversations and keep that door open, you know, because we can't leave things unchecked. And his proof, what he's just said, is living proof of what will happen, what could happen, what could escalate if conversations are not had. You got anything else to say, son?
Our relationship is ongoing. It's a lifelong journey, and that will require constant commitment, tweaking, modifying, and adjusting, because our relationship is throughout life, and we might not see eye to eye, like you said, and it will be very difficult for me and you to have a relationship if we don't even like each other, because I don't want to come across as a hypocrite and say, I don't want to be a person who's just given advice, who's not even taking my own advice. Everything I'm saying, I mean it because I experience it with you, Dad. And sometimes thoughts play my mind, like when we're eating dinner, or when we are having breakfast, or when I'm just with you face to face. Thoughts play my mind when we argue. It's like, Dad, you spoke to your dad in a bad way, so let me speak to you in a bad way. You're telling me to act like a good boy, to be mature, to be responsible, to control my reactions and responses, when you're not even controlling yourself. Dad, do you even understand how you come across? And many of these thoughts just play inside my mind, and then I sometimes feel like I'm reacting the same way. Not that I want to, because I don't, but I'm reacting the same way because my dad's actions and responses and approach is the same towards me. That's why I'm reacting the same. But I have no reason to do bad, to ever hit you, because I will never want to. And hitting, that's not even a way. That's not even an answer. That's not even a solution. That will just escalate the problem. That will make things worse. So that's not the way. I'm gonna try my best to avoid that and do things on my part to make sure I'm doing things right. I'm not perfect, but I need to improve each and every day.
And that is a two-way thing as well. You know, we're not trying to say we've got the answers, because again, I don't have a perfect relationship with my son, but the most important thing is that I'm trying to put in the work, and I will make mistakes. That's it, really, and it's just a relationship that's evolving. This is where we're at this moment in our life, with in regards to the relationship that I have with my son.